First off, I'd like to apologize for me sounding kind of low energy right after this match when we got some food, and I think I developed some food poisoning, which made the whole rest of this weekend kind of awful. But enough of me complaining about that. The match this time, before it even started, didn't go how I planned. I was originally going to do this with my 223 VZ58, but I've been having a lot of issues with that involve warranty work with Checkpoint. So instead I just brought the Bren 2, but I was still able to bring, as you can see, my VZ61 Scorpion SBR. And it is an SBR. I've got the folding stock, and I got to try out the Code 4 Defense holster for it. And I didn't need to worry about the retention, because on this holster it primarily works on the magazine. It also grabs the charging hubs a little bit, but not very much. Like if I take the holster with the gun in it without a magazine, shake it upside down, the gun will fall out. Right side up shouldn't be a problem, but it is loose without a magazine. The thing I was curious to find out with the Scorpion was using it as a pistol. Obviously it's a pistol, and I've done that before at an IDPA match, but I haven't gotten a chance to really put it through its paces as a carbine. So I was curious how that's going to go. Would having the stock really be a big advantage? And I don't think it was, primarily because if you've ever shot a Scorpion, you'll know that when you do it as a carbine, the sights are incredibly close to your face, to the point where it's actually kind of hard to use them, especially get on them quickly. So when I did try to get a cheap weld and get behind the sights, I would have to actually find the iron sight sometimes before taking a shot. And you might see that a couple times when I go for a shot and then it seems to take me a while to actually send the shot. It's because I'm trying to find the sights. Here in this clip, I'm using it as a pistol, just because I wanted to get out of the holster and get a shot off, but then for the rest of the stage, transition to using it as a carbine. And on the next stage as well, you'll see me use it as a pistol on a Texas Star and some other steel, just because I didn't want to take the time to deploy the stock, and also because I wanted to use it as a pistol at least a couple times. I was somewhat concerned about it being able to knock over steel, and that was somewhat justified. I'd used this at a tack shoot up here in PA before, and it had trouble with dueling trees. Not so much knock over steel. As you can see, I was able to knock those over just fine. But dueling trees, it has problems with. Those are at an angle, they need to flip all the way over, and 32 auto just doesn't have the energy to do that. And you'll see that at the end of this stage, when I'm trying to hit the dueling trees, I don't end up getting them all over, but I hit all of them, so we just counted that. The Bren 2, there's nothing much to say about that. It's a 5.56 caliber rifle. It's perfectly fine, although I did have a problem with my zero. I set the zero quite a while ago and then just forgot about it. I've been shooting a lot of Igman. This is what I'm talking about, using it as a pistol, and it goes really well. But on the rifle range, I didn't time out, but it did take me longer than it should have, because the rifle was shooting substantially high, and I think the reason is because I'd run out of Igman, so I switched to my last stocks of GGG 223, which I think is a bit spicier. The muzzle velocity is a bit higher, or at least enough to make me hit substantially higher than I was expecting. So I had to figure out the correct hold on the clock and adjust that, and that took some time because I was shooting substantially high. The rest of the time, you might have noticed that these stages don't look how they normally do at Thurmont, and that's because they're actually leftovers from the Mid-Atlantic State Championship for USPSA from last weekend. And if you know anything about USPSA, they are very big about walls and lots of memorizing where targets are. So what we did was, rather than set up whole new stages, just use what was there and add some steel to it for a pistol. And that was logistically really great. It made running the stages a little bit of a chore, especially this last one that you're watching now. I was ROing for a lot of the squad, and I had to coach people through a lot of it because there were so many hidden targets behind walls, behind barrels, especially the one I was just shooting at. A lot of people missed, even when I did point it out to them. But that was a big chore. The other thing they did at this match was they did IDP scoring. So in case you're not aware, normally at these matches, this is 2 hits anywhere on paper is neutralized. But for this match, they decided to experiment with IDP scoring, which is they're using the scoring zones as time, not penalties, but time modifiers. So the center is 0 added to your time. The next zone out is 1, and the zone outside of that is 3, so on. And that was kind of annoying to deal with because you had to go around and carefully score all of the paper rather than just look for 2 holes, which really slowed things down. And as far as ROing goes, this match was kind of an annoying one to do. And this was embarrassing here. My brain was so cooked at this point that I didn't realize he was trying to tell me that there was one more target to get.
Okay, if you're finished, unload your clear.
And that's all I got for the match. I'm going to go lay down on the couch for a little bit because I'm still getting over this food poisoning, which is horrible. Peace out.